Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim for The Real Sports Talk. You can like The Real Sports Talk on Facebook. I'll put that in the video description. Or you can also follow me on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST. Big news here on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone. And I will be covering the NBA Finals tonight. But some other big news. A legend in the NFL is retiring. That is LT, or at least the second LT. LaDanian Tomlinson is retiring from the NFL after just an overall tremendous career. He was in the league for 11 seasons. 9 of those were spent in San Diego, and then you also had the 2 at the end with the New York Jets. And I just don't want people to forget how dominant LT was, because these last few years, they weren't terrible with the Jets. Certainly, I mean, he didn't do what Sean Alexander did and just completely fall off the map. He was still in the NFL being pretty productive, but he was not the same old LT. Really, LT is one of the top 10 running backs of all time, I think. He's the 5th leading rusher in the history of the league. And what made him so great, he never had a 2,000-yard season, but what made him so great is he was able to put together a run of 6 or so seasons where he ran for over 1,200 yards. And when you do that, you're going to have a long career. He's one of the few rushers in the league. At least, I mean, there's certainly other guys that have done it, but there's not a ton of guys that are over 10,000 yards. LT did that. He holds a single season record for amount of touchdowns in a season with 31, I believe. So he had an incredible career, and it's really a shame when you see a career like this end, because you look back on it and realize how good LT really was. And I really miss when LT was good. Like, the 2006 LT is really the LT I miss. And actually, the single season record's 28 touchdowns that he set. So Sean Alexander I think Sean Alexander might have broken that record the season after, or he broke Sean Alexander's. It was one of those ways. But either way, an incredible career for LaDanian Tomlinson. I think that he's a lock to be a Hall of Famer. I saw John Clayton talking about it this morning. No question, he is a Hall of Famer. I mean, this is a guy that has 13,684 career yards, 145 career touchdowns. That's in pretty rare company. He did not fumble the ball a lot. He averaged over 4 yards a carry. That's pretty incredible. So a great career for LT finishing up. Unfortunately, he could not find a team to latch on with to go get that Super Bowl. It wasn't that he was unproductive last season, but he doesn't bring anything to the team. I think that LT is going to want more carries than another running back that still has the amount of skill that LT has left. And what I mean by that is there are other running backs at this point that are as good as LT that you can get for a lot cheaper and aren't going to want as many carries. And LT has every right, with being LT, to expect that when you've done what LT has done throughout his career. I think that the only knock you could really have on LT is him not getting a championship. And I don't mean that like you need a championship to have a great career, because I'm not someone who evaluates in championships, and certainly I don't think it takes away from him being one of the all-time great running backs. But you kind of look back and say he came up small in some of those AFC title games. The one game he sat out, I understand he was really injured, but to me, you got to be out there. You got to be out there playing that game. I'm not trying to make this a negative thing about LT, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But I think that is the one thing that you could take away from his career that isn't a positive. Other than that, it was a Hall of Fame career, and it was a pleasure to watch, and I'm really going to miss LaDanian Tomlinson in the National Football League.